WW7ATS. Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airwaves with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater. It spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. NTSC format. Also, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on. And also you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 and note a tone of 103.5 for this net. 103.5 for this net with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society repeater. The Western Washington WW7STR's repeater. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'll pause momentarily in case somebody has an emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Hearing none, the net wishes to acknowledge Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Jim, N7QO, WU7N James, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM, that's already signed in by a video link. Is there anybody else that wishes to sign into the net?
K7ITX.
Oh no, Dave, did you tell me?
And again, let's try for Ron, KD7QKU.
Ron, KD7QKU. But I think Richard checked in at the same time that you were calling me up. I didn't hear. So I was just sitting here and I was thinking about a strange thing I saw yesterday. So I'm sitting out on my deck. We're a corner lot. The street on the east side of us is Defiance, and the street out in front of us is 37. And the little deck's on the northeast corner of the house. It's under the roof of the house, so it's usually in the shade. It's cool out there most of the time. So anyway, I'm sitting out there, and I look across the street, going down 37th Street, was a kid, and he had all black on. He had a black hooded sweatshirt on. He had the hood over his head. Now I'm sitting there in shorts, and he might have had a little day pack on. And then I could think he was talking on a radio, on a phone. So then all of a sudden, he run across the street, and then about the same time, a maroon red colored pickup pulled up with no canopy on the back. He ran over, he jumped in the back of the pickup and laid down, and there was another kid in there, because I saw him. He looked the same way, all black with a hooded sweatshirt on. Now, is that weird or is that not weird? So what they were up to, I don't know, but they laid down so no one could see him, and then the pickup drove off up the street. He turned right and went west up the street in front of our house. So were they canvassing the neighborhood? I don't know what they were doing. They're kind of suspicious. So anyway, what else else did we do? So today they have fireworks down here along the waterfront in the park, and so after lunch I told Joanne I wanted to go down. They block off the road and everything, and they have entertainment down there. And I wanted to drive down there after lunch and see if I could see where the barge is that they set off the fireworks on. Well, we couldn't find the barge. There was no barge. So I guess they hadn't brought it in yet. Now, I've been told that the Indians, probably the Puyallup Indians, run the fireworks, but I don't know that for a fact either. And I've been told that the barge used to be down closer to where we live by Ruston, but last year they moved it farther down, kind of down in the middle of the park. And so what they do is down at the Dunes Park, they have booths all set up in music, and they have a stage down there, and they block all the roads off. They block the road off at on this end. I don't know exactly where, but they blocked the road off on the other end too. I saw all the barricades and everything were all set, but they hadn't done it yet. I don't know what time tomorrow. I think it said, I thought the sign said 7 till 11, but that might be wrong, because maybe, I don't know what the sign said. But anyway, they'll block the street off, and then down the road that's in the park along the water goes all the way down, to Tacoma, to the waterfront and everything down there. There's park all along and restaurants and everything. Down there about halfway, they have a big stage set up, and they're going to have a band, I suppose, and dancing and whatnot down there. But I'm wondering if that's where the barge is going to be parked out in front. If that is the case, it's quite a ways down. We wouldn't be able to hardly see the fireworks from our house. But if it was up this end, we could probably see the fireworks. So I don't know where it's going to be. And then Joanne tells me that maybe our street is going to be blocked off or something tomorrow, because there's another run down the Narrows Drive, which is up at the park, the street, and they're going to run all the way down and run around down there by the zoo and the aquarium and everything. And I don't know if they're coming back or not, but I did look up the street and I saw a bunch of cones and some signs, so there's definitely something happening up there. So tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to K9BQ, Bob.
Good evening, everybody. That does sound suspicious, Ron. I mean, if I let my imagination run wild a little bit, I would say it sounds like gang activity. But I definitely keep your eyes open. That I hope that was just an isolated incident. Sounds like it was. Well, let's see. Not a heck of a lot going around here. I'm gearing up for the hot temperatures to come, getting the AC all, in place, and I'm doing that dance where, I want to keep the doors and windows open as long as I can, keep getting fresh air in, but I don't want to wait till it gets too hot, because then it takes forever to cool down. So we'll see if I find that magic sweet spot this time. Usually starting it like at night or early in the morning before it heats up is the best, if I can just pick the right date. What else is going on? Well, I have no plans for tomorrow, for the 4th, outside of we're doing my regular Friday night gaming group is going to do an extra session during the day tomorrow, because of course the working people all have the day off, and we all happen to be free, so we get an extra play session in, which will be nice. But otherwise, yeah, not a lot to report. I have a niece getting married, but it's not big news, because she and her fiance now have been living together for years, and basically might as well have been married already. But they're tying the knot, and my sister was lamenting that she's got 3 girls, and not one of them wanted a big fancy wedding. She was hoping to put on at least one nice wedding out of her 3 girls, but none of them wanted, so it goes. That's life. All right, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
Let's see if Richard's with us. K7ITX.
Yeah, Richard is here. K7ITX. So, yeah, Bob, my daughter is getting married this summer, and she is going to have a pretty fancy wedding. Trouble is, I won't be able to go because her wedding is in Spain. So I don't know where she got that idea. She got a real fancy wedding dress and all that, but I don't know. I guess I helped pay for it. I try to keep my nose out of it. To me, that's kind of like women's business. So anyway, I hope she has a nice wedding in Spain. So I'm looking at 104 degrees right now, and speaking of my daughter, she's coming to visit from Seattle, downtown Phoenix, and she's going to be mildly surprised that the whole time she's here, the temperature is going to be pretty close to 115. 160. So, man, I just hunker down, and I don't know what else to say. Just look forward to my next doctor appointment. That's about it. K7ITX, back in net control.
ATX, thanks for that. And it's time for an ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, coming up next is Jim in 7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Ron, yeah, I think that was suspicious activity. I would have called 911 on that and let them know that someone was driving around hiding in the bed of a red pickup truck. Definitely falls under the category of suspicious activity. It might be useful information. The police have someone to look for, some place to look if they happen to see a red truck driving around after a crime has been committed that they know about. I don't know, just my thought on that. Yeah, I saw something on television about them setting up fireworks, and they were showing the barge, but it kind of looked like it was in the middle of something. I don't know if it was already established in its final location or not, but good luck on viewing the fireworks, and also dealing with the hassle of the run or whatever. I don't know, good points and bad points to being where you're located there. Bob, yeah, I don't know. Most states have what they call common law marriage. So legally, those two lovebirds might actually already be married. Several years ago, there was I forgot the actor's name. Seems like it may have been Marvin something. Anyway, somehow he separated from the woman with whom he was living together, and she sued him for what became known as palimony. So you could probably find the actor's name if you Google palimony, and I don't know. if they're getting married, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But if someone backs out at the last minute, it may be too late. Dick, yeah, I noticed that 115 degrees, 116 degrees. I think the local weather here was showing Phoenix to be 116 degrees for 2 days and 115 for a third day. I don't remember the order of them. 115 first, then the two, or vice versa. But yeah, make sure you tell your friends to carry a rag in their pocket so they could touch the door handles on their cars when they get around to it. It's actually pretty pleasant here now. I'm showing 75 degrees outside. It's nice and clear. The winds are light. And it was a nice day today. I've got 70 degrees here in the shack, so it's actually maybe just a tiny bit on the cool side, but it's pretty pleasant. I'm sure that's going to change in the next couple of days by the time the weekend comes up. Oh yeah, that reminds me, this weekend we have a monthly meeting, a monthly television club meeting. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
QO, let's go to James, WU7M.
Thank you, Dave. WU7N James here in northeast Bellevue tonight. Let's see. Yeah, black hoodies and people jumping into pickup trucks. Next time, Ron, you should run out there and ask them what they're doing. No, don't do that. My goodness, just another day in Tacoma, probably, right? Well, there was no gunshots, so that hardly counts as an event. And no explosions either. I would comment tonight on the picture coming off of Cougar at 1.2 gigahertz. Anyone else that's trying to do any digital sampling or anything, this would be a great night to do it. Good, solid color signal, absolutely no roll, no fade, nothing. That is just as close as it gets to a perfect NTSC analog signal. Congratulations on your, I think you said it was your daughter getting married in Spain. That sounds pretty exciting and pretty glamorous, so all the best on that. And Bob, I missed who exactly is getting married, what the relationship is to you, but maybe you could clarify that the next time around. And let's see, yes, you got me. I had to look. The palimony case was Lee Marvin, and it was Michelle Triola, who died tragically of lung cancer in 2009. Also, she also had multiple gunshot wounds to her chest with LM written on every bullet. I don't know what that was a contributing cause to death or not. But actually was unsuccessful in suing Lee Marvin, so the ever helpful internet says. But I guess I shouldn't joke about it. It sounds to me like a very sad case. They were together with each other for some time. You would have thought from 65 to 70, and then before they got into their legal problems. So it's a shame we can't all just get along. I guess that didn't work for the riot either, but it's always nice to try. Let's see. Well, I guess today is an important day, July 3rd. This is Gettysburg. Bonus points. Was this the day it started or the day it ended? So maybe someone else can answer that question and see if you have to look that up. But that was the turning point of the Civil War, of course, and the famous Gettysburg Address that we all had to learn back when you actually had to learn stuff in elementary school. So there's that. July 4th, where we celebrate the invention of the fireworks in China, and you know, that's a big day for everybody, I guess. They don't know for sure when fireworks were invented in China, but they're pretty sure it was July 4th. Probably a Tuesday would be my bet. But anyway, it was way back there sometime, and I'm going to be out helping out the city of Bellevue for at least part of that day. I tried it last year, and my goodness, it's gets to be a little old when it gets hot. It's only going to be 81 tomorrow, so I'm going to hang in there, see if I can hang in there for the hottest hours anyway, and then probably head on home. I don't know if I'll stay for the fireworks or not. But last year it was an impressive fireworks display. The most important thing, though, for ham radio operators is when you pack 40,000 people into that little park, the entire cell service of that section of the city is dead. Years ago they said, we don't need any kind of other radios because we're going to use cellular, or that is, cell phones with an app on there that acts like a walkie-talkie, which if you get that many people all trying to call every place literally all over the world, that's going to be a bit overwhelmed, and it didn't work very well. So now we have commercial, I think, UHF radios in addition to all the amateur frequencies, and actually use them all for various purposes. It's really quite a crowded VHF, UHF bandwidth for the celebration in that local area. To see amateur radio operators get out and really help the city, they always say thank you, so I thought I'd put in my 2 bits for that tomorrow. So with that, let me turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. This is James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue.
W7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and get an ID here again for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. For WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions. Oh my, weather has been beautiful today. I got up to Costco. I found out if you want a hot dog at noon, best not be there at noon. Everybody's trying to get a hot dog at noon, so I had to wait in line. That seemed like about 10 minutes till I finally got my dog, but I did conquer that. And then let's see, I've been together paperwork and looking at power of attorney for medical and healthcare purposes to get that in line with my daughter signed on in case I'm inoperable mouth-wise and signature-wise to take care of something when things happen and get that out of the way. And also I dug out a will that is about 40 years old, and I think I'll see my same attorney that's doing this and bring all the paperwork up to date. So that has been my thing for today. So that's about it. And oh, Richard, I feel for you. This is the first summer I haven't been there in about 6 years in the summertime when it's warm. I'm not say warm, I should say hot. So I know how that feeling goes. Boy, you get out of the car, put a foot on the tarmac, and it says, hello. How many steps can I eliminate by getting inside the next air-conditioned area that I'm at? Oh my. But anyway, I'm enjoying Seattle weather this time, come June and July, and enjoying that very much. So that's about it. And for Ron, boy, black hoodies back in the back end of a pickup truck. I guess you could say you didn't hear any bang bangs, so I guess that was probably a very positive thing that happened. And talking about cell phone coverage, go to a Seahawks game or a Sounders game and try to use your cell phone there. It gets very difficult because everybody, again, is on those towers. It's right down in that area. And 4th of July stories, it reminds me once when Como was doing the sponsorship of the fireworks at the waterfront, and they had asked our helicopter pilot, please fly above the fireworks and get good video. And for some reason the pilot said, you out of your mind? Declined to do it. They looked very unfavorable on him for making that decision, but no need. But anyway, people come up with some great ideas for different views. So I'll send it back up to Tacoma to Ron, KD7QKU.
Thanks, Dave, and I guess I didn't say good evening to everyone. Good evening, you guys. And Richard, nice to hear from you. I hope you're feeling better. And your recovery's going well, and congratulations on your daughter getting married. Now I can't say her name. I think it's Olivia, but all of a sudden. But anyway, congratulations. Joey will know, but I'm pretty sure it's Olivia. Yeah, and here in Washington State, I've always been told common law is 7 years. If you live together 7 years, when you get together, you know, you have your stuff and she has her stuff, or vice versa. But after you live together 7 years, it's commingled, and it might have to do with money and everything else. I don't know exactly how the law is, but I was always told in our state it was 7 years. It was kind of considered common law marriage. So anyway, and I have 71 degrees here at my house, 71 degrees. And when we first started off tonight, when I first checked in, I was talking to Bob about, you know, we get that older amateur TV club newsletter, and I got it this afternoon and I was reading it, and I would like to suggest that everyone look at it. And down in the newsletter, it was talking about, if I can find it now, it was talking about pallet amplifiers. And it sounded like, from what I read, that the commercial TV stations have been getting rid of them. And they were selling for, you know, $10 a piece or something. And it sounds like that they made 300 or 400 watts, and even one place I read, they might have had 1,200 watts. Now, I don't know if I'm reading it correctly, and they might have had to put more than one of them together to get up to 1,200 watts. But it sounds like some people were running at about 300 watts. Now, I'm not the sharpest when it comes to these things, so I would suggest that everybody look at it. And if it's true, and if it is an amplifier, I would almost, well, we probably should run it by Rob too, and have Rob take a look at it. If it's true, and they're only $10 a piece, I think maybe we should invest in a couple of them. It said they were selling them on eBay, so maybe if you guys have a chance, you can kind of check that out. It's called a pallet amplifier, and it shows a picture of a circuit board and some things on it. So I don't know, but if it is an amplifier, and you can talk someplace about driving it. I forget. So I don't know. But anyway, it says that they're selling them for pennies on the dollar. And somebody said they measured it, and the one they had, it was putting out 700 peak watts. And then they're running them at 300 watt output or something. So I don't know. But if it's true, and if they are cheap, $10 a piece, I think we should get a couple. So anyway, what else have I got to say? Not much. They mowed our lawn today. They usually mow it on Thursday, but I guess they're not going to work tomorrow, so they mowed it today. That was good. Our yard looks nice now. So maybe I mentioned this and maybe I didn't. Let me let it drop. I got a letter from the city, and it talks about a backflow prevention assembly, and they want us to have a backflow deal on our sprinkler system, and you're supposed to have it tested and certified. Well, when Armando was here and put in the new control box, that's another one that kind of quit, I asked him if we had one, and he said, I don't think you do. So he went out and opened our box and looked in, and he said, no, I don't think you do, but he said, I'll put one in, and I said, okay. So there goes another expense, and then I suppose I have to have it tested and certified. So I don't know. It's wonderful what the city wants. I know when I lived in Bellevue, I put a black backflow prevention device in when we put that sprinkler system in, and the city of Bellevue never asked us to have it certified. So different towns, different things. All right. So anyway, take a look at that Boulder, Colorado newsletter and read about that pallet amplifier. See what you guys think. And like I say, if we decide it's a good deal, maybe we should run it by Rob, and then maybe we should try to get have them on hand. Who knows? All right, back to net KD7Q.
KD7QKU, thanks for that, Ron. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bottle.
Hey guys again. Boy, so many things. I have notes filling a page here. A lot of interesting things going on tonight. Let's see, I'll go right down the list from who spoke in order after I went last time. Great to hear from you, Richard. Man, oh man, just good to hear your voice, and sounds like you're doing pretty well, and 104 degrees, man. Yeah, that's stuck inside weather for sure. And yeah, it's too bad your daughter's wedding will be in Spain. But it's destination weddings are very, very popular these days, and so I'm sure it'll be a good one. Let's see, James, Gettysburg, I'm going to say it ended on July 3rd, but I have no idea. I'm just guessing. I have 50-50 chance, right? And then, of course, the next day, the Chinese invented the fireworks. It makes perfect sense. Tomorrow we're celebrating the anniversary of the first firework being set off. And I never did have to learn the Gettysburg Address in school. There's a number of things like that. I remember years and years ago, friends of mine were talking about the Monitor and the Merrimack, and I said, what? What are you talking about? And they were appalled that I had not been forced to learn that in school at any point in my school career. I think I had maybe heard of them, but I didn't know any details about it. But it was something that they all knew, and were shocked that I didn't. Dave, the helicopter story is hilarious. The things that reporters will ask for, I can't get over it. I do like some of the drone footage I've seen, though, of fireworks where they can get in pretty close, and all you're risking is losing a drone. So those are fun. Well, let's see, what else do I have? The Lee Marvin thing. I did get that one, James. I actually remembered that, but I did not know about him losing her losing the suit. I guess just the fact that she even brought the suit was huge news back in the day. I happen to remember that one very well, and I did remember as Lee Marvin. Good advice on the rag door, Jim, for the door handles. I have never lived any place, where you have to do that, or I guess same thing with the steering wheel, right? You put a cloth over the steering wheel or something to keep it cool. And then, of course, there's James with the glove for spiders when you're going under the hood of the car. That one really got me. I'm going to drop for a moment. See, Dave, power of attorney, very smart, and something I should think about. And the will, man, oh man, you just reminded me of something that I started years ago and never finished, and I have to do that. That's just something I don't want to leave a mess for my family to have to deal with for not having a will. And I'm curious, when you stepped out on the pavement in that hot weather, did it ever melt the rubber on your shoes? Do some shoes have such cheap rubber on them that they melt in that kind of heat? In common law, 7 years common law, I think it's tied in with the 7 years for bankruptcy. It goes back very, very far in English common law. I don't know why 7 years, but it's been somehow those tie together. And actually, now you got me curious. Now that there's the internet, I might actually look it up. Years ago, I was interested, but I wasn't interested enough to go digging to try and find out. But now it's at my fingertips. And I will read that article on the amps. It sounds too good to be true, but it's worth looking into. All right, back to net, K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. Well, I guess we'll go to the new designated desert rat, Richard, K7ITX.
Well, yeah, no, you guys are smart in getting this will and power of attorney business taken care of. Thank God, you know, my mom had both those instruments, and the critical thing is on the will that the personal agent of the person that has passed and who the estate is all about, they I lost my train of thought for a second. But the intense thing about having at least a personal representative of the estate that's still alive is very critical. And luckily, you know, in my mom's case, it was me, so I think I'm still alive. And, but even with a will, if somehow you can get the beneficiary straightened out and designated, then a will doesn't even matter. If every bit of your stuff is somehow in some kind of trust with a designated beneficiary, those just fly right to your wherever you have your bank account. Other than that, even in Washington State, I know that if you have a will, they still make you go through probate if it's over a certain level of money. So that's what I know about it. It's you don't want to go home without it. Let me put it that way, because it'd be pretty miserable. So that's about all I know. I'm just trying to slowly recover. It's going to take a long time, and you know, there's always complications. There's no way out of it, and nothing too serious or exciting, other than the fact that I've got to go into the medical clinic right across the street from the hospital 2 or 3 times a week for the next month. So I'm going to be pretty busy. Anyway, nice talking to you guys. K7ITX, back to net control.
Next, let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, I have not heard any gunshots here either, fortunately, but I'll tell you what, just since I've been on this net, there have been at least 6 explosions or something around here. I think a whole bunch of folks are getting an early start. Actually, it's probably the same person just setting off, sounds like M80s or something. There's something big. It's I don't know. It sounds like a big bore, like someone's shooting a 45-70 or something like that. Wow. Yeah, frequently things get a little exciting around here on the 4th and on New Year's. So I'm sure that's all that's going on. Oh, and thanks for looking that up, Lee Marvin. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. Well, heck, I can't even remember my wife's anniversary, so I guess it's not asking too much for me to not remember his name either. Anyway, thanks for looking that up. Dave, 10 minutes for a hot dog. Oh man, I don't think they could call that fast food, but as long as it was yummy, I guess. And I miss the sausage that they used to have, but oh well. Ron, thanks for mentioning this pallet amplifier. I don't know anything about the newsletter to which you are referring. I'm going to have to look up some information on the newsletter somehow. Dick, really good to hear from you. Sounds like you're doing a little better. And 2 to 3 times per week for a month, man, that's got to get old pretty quickly. I don't know. At least it's not going to a dentist. I try to look on the bright side of things. Yeah, that'll get old very quickly. Sorry about that, but I'm sure that they feel it's necessary. And my understanding is the same as you. I'm not a lawyer, but the way it was explained to me years ago is that if you have trusts, that allows you to avoid probate. But if you have a will, that has to go to probate. But I don't know any more about the details other than that. Maybe there are dollar limits or something. I don't know. And that probably varies between states as well. Let's see, Bob. I saw something on television that there is a big bear in Bothell. They estimate the critter goes 1,000 pounds or better, and this critter, they showed some video of him on Channel 4. He was in someone's backyard. They showed this, he destroyed this bird feeder and munched on all the bird seed that was in there, and then he was laying back and just kind of preening himself a little bit, and it looked like he was just chilling. I don't know, looked like maybe he got a hold of someone's infused brownies or something. This bear was just laying back chilling. But watch out, there is a big bear somewhere there in Bothell, which can't be terribly far from you, so watch out, Bob. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, and the net acknowledges Wade W7ATS has signed on. What say you, Wade?
India Tango Lima here, Wade in Tacoma. I just switched on my ETV analog transmitter. Let's see if I can get that going. I don't know if one of the guys can switch me in. So, today, excellent weather. Looking forward to the 4th. We don't really have anything major planned. We're just gonna, let me switch in my video. Looks like I was looking at something on there. Let's switch it. Yeah, let's see if it'll. There we go. Hey, there I am. Well, as I was saying, not a lot going on today, but weather is awesome. This week it's been pretty cool. Let me see. Monday, I took the family to Wild Waves, and we hung out there for about 4 hours, and got a little bit of sun, and face not too burnt, but my back and my front very burnt. Even though I put on lots of spray-on sunscreen, but that's just what it is. I'm not really outside a lot, so I just expecting to get burnt. As I was saying, tomorrow we're not really doing anything big. We're just going to hang out at home, cook some brats, burgers, hot dogs, and just hang out at home and just enjoy the time off. And then for the weekend, nothing really planned yet. But let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I got really to share with you guys for this round. Maybe I'll have something more for the next round. This is Wade, W7ITL, back to net.
7ITL, thanks for that let's go on to James, WU7N.
Let me get the transmitter back on. We're back to transmitting the stream again. Well, my goodness, a giant bear up in Bothell. That bear sounded almost as heavy as many of us. The thing of it is, though, if you're feeding birds, that's wildlife. So then you're not feeding the bear. So I think that's probably some kind of discriminatory thing. So the bear would have just claws to attack the bird feeder. I'm sorry, couldn't help it. Ron, I'm pretty sure that the backflow valve is only, $4.95. The cost of getting it certified will be $6,432.19. No, I hope it doesn't hit you. The backflow valves are very inexpensive. I have a backflow valve on my pressure washer. If it was an emergency, I'd just tear it off and give it to you. I mean, I'm sure they're easily replaced. But the certification part, that is a little scary. Hope that's not too expensive for you there. I forgot to mention, yes, I'm glad you're doing well in the Arizona heat. That sounds pretty much like living on Mercury or one of the more inner planets of the sun. During the summer season, you just have to stay inside. That's what I always did, anyway. So I'm glad that you sound like you're doing great. That's good. Let's see, other than that, oh yeah, my 2 bits on estate planning. Trusts are the way to go in Washington State. And I know an attorney, and actually, if you're a simple person like most of us are, she doesn't charge very much to do it because she's got software. The hardest part is she sends you a giant form, and you have to fill out that form accurately. And then her software is, of course, proprietary, and she generates all the paperwork. She'll put real estate into the trust, but then you have to take responsibility to put everything else in the trust. I mean, so you have to go around all these places with your paperwork and get that done, but that's certainly far less expensive than having her do it, or even a paralegal do it. It's not that bad. I did mine, some of it I did during COVID, and that was problematic. I had to make an appointment at one place, and I was kept on, going through multiple iterations of sort of schooling the person there on how to do this. But eventually it was all done, and learned a lot in the process. So it's very, I'd say, pretty painless to do. And the advantage of it is, when you croak, there is no probate. Everything just goes into a spillover will, and then whoever you have designated. And I just have a whole list of people, and you take the top 2, and anybody can refuse and just say, I don't want to do this, and then it goes to the next person. Until if I run out of people, then whoever's getting money, they all decide who the personal executor is going to be. So, that's one way to set it up so it'll last quite a while, too. If you're a simple person, and I think most of us are, of course, you never know. Some of us might have vast economic resources out there, and multinational land or something, and then it gets more complicated. I see we got about 10 minutes left, so let me turn it back to our net control Dave so we can maybe get another round in here. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
WU7N, thanks for that, James. And this is Dave, KD7CYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Oh my, wills and things that I found out in the past. I have my finances with Fidelity Investments, and then Bank of America. It was kind of interesting. Both of them sent out paperwork designated, should something go amok, who gets what and what percentage on each one of the accounts. And the same was with the Bank of America, and signed those paperworks off. So according to them, that bypasses the will, and then the people have direct access to those funds. So that was kind of interesting. Another way to look at it. You can go through your investment counselor to take care of that. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. So I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thanks again, Dave. KD7QKU is here. I haven't heard a single fireworks go off here. I don't know. I think Tacoma, it's illegal. I don't know if Wade's heard anything or not. Yeah, he says, put thumbs up, it's illegal here. My friend that lives in Linwood, he's pretty close to downtown Linwood, I think, but he says he's in the county, and they go nuts up there where he lives. They've been going strong ever since it was legal to sell them. And he thinks everybody has M80s, and they're just, you know, or they have skyrockets that they send up in the air and they go boom, you know. But anyway, he said it's pretty unbearable where he's at. So, all right, I don't have too much more to add. I told you, I guess it was 71 degrees here a few minutes ago. And it's we get a really nice newsletter from the Tacoma Ham Club, and they had all kind of pictures in there. And Wade's pictures in there about a half a dozen times. He's operating radios and helping out and everything. I wish I could forward this newsletter to you guys at least once so you can see it. It has so much information. It's about 80 pages long. If you can imagine that. It just goes on and on and on, and most of the time it's kind of enjoyable reading. So I usually read through it. Today I had a problem. It wanted me to log in. I don't know if I'd ever made an account with them, so I had to make an account and have a password in order to get the newsletter. I don't know if that's something new or maybe it was always there. I don't know how I clicked on it or someplace, but anyway, today I needed to log in, so anyway I made a username and a password. So I guess I'm all set up now. But yeah, the club's a really good club. It's got lots of members. I don't know, 250, 260 or something. But there again, there's only about 10% of the people that do all the work and show up all the time. So nice group. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
7QKU. Let's go to Bob, K9BQ.
Well, let's see. I got a couple of notes. Wade, on the sunburn, yeah. The biggest thing I learned, it took me a while to finally admit that I needed to do it, is no matter how long the sunscreen says it lasts, you have to apply it often. It doesn't help having a high SPF if you only do it once for the whole day. Let's see, the bear. I saw that article, and I somehow, when I read it, I thought it said Bellevue. I didn't look closely. It was a quick glance. But you're right, it's Bothell, and not only is it Bothell is a pretty sprawling city these days. There are a lot of parts of Bothell that are not close to me. This is very close to me. It's about 2 miles away where they're describing it, Thrasher's Corner. That's about 2 miles away from me. So, we've got a big woods right outside, actually as part of our property, and then it extends beyond our property line as well. So a bear could end up in there, but I think it's what do I say? It's going to stay where the food is, where it's already found food. So even though it's as close as it is, we're probably not too big a trouble. I do have one neighbor that likes to feed the birds, and it's nice because we have lots of birds around. I like that, but that could certainly be something that would attract it. That's what attracted it to that one place, so we'll see. I have heard fireworks here. I'm going to be paying attention tomorrow evening. Our game's during the day, so I'll be free in the evening. We used to have huge, not quite professional level, but definitely more than your typical backyard fireworks level stuff going on in the valley down below me, which is unincorporated Snohomish County. But Snohomish County has now outlawed fireworks in some region of the county, so even in unincorporated Snohomish County down here in the south, is outlawed. So we'll see how much actually happens. But I mean, it used to be just wild because it was like maybe a dozen households at least, all with really big, you know, the ones that shoot up in the air, like a mini version of the professional one. So really cool stuff. Okay, well that's all I've got. Have a good night, everybody. 73 K9PQ back to net.
PQ, let's see if we can pick up Richard again down in Phoenix. K7ITX.
About that, sleep at the switch. I just have one final comment on, you know, we've been talking about the seven-year common law, 7-year bankruptcy. Well, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but in construction law in the state of Washington, no matter what kind of limited warranty you're given at the time of a purchase of a building product, it's automatically good for 7 years, or you can collect back. So yeah, no, the 7 years is a universal time of period, you know, in the state of Washington for a lot of different things. But I always was surprised that so many of my customers didn't realize, and they'd fight tooth and nail to get that extra second-year warranty on their guarantee. And I'm just thinking, if you only knew, you wouldn't be paying this extra. You're already covered. So anyway, that's all I know. Nice talking to you guys. And yeah, don't get too hot tomorrow. K7ITX back in net control.
Thanks for that. Let's go to Wade in Tacoma. W7ITL.
This is Wade, W7ITL. Well, sounds like Richard, you're doing great in Arizona, enjoying the heat. I will be joining you in that area in August, late August. I'll be in Nevada for just our anniversary. Me and my wife's anniversary is on the 20th of August, so we're going to go visit family just outside of Las Vegas, and we'll be there for about a week. I'm also going to be going to California at the beginning of August for there's a retro gaming convention that's going to be going on in Palo Alto. I forget the name of the acronym that they call it, but there's one in each region. And there was already one in California earlier this year, but it's where old computers, old gaming systems, and old monitors, everything you can think retro will be sold and presented. A lot of times you'll get people from the industry, people from Microsoft and other software companies will show up and just speak and talk about technology. So I'm excited about going to that. That's going to be in Palo Alto, Mountain View area. It'll be like beginning of August, like August, I think 3rd and 4th. And we're gonna drive down to California that week, and we're gonna stay down there for about 5 days. And you know, 2 of those days, 3 of those days will be, you know, traveling back and forth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than sounds like people were talking about estate planning. I didn't hear the first part of the conversation, but that's definitely something that I need to look into and probably get that figured out before it gets too far along. You never know when something's bad. Something's going to happen unexpectedly, and then you're, uh-oh, what do you do? So, all right, well, that's it for my check-in for this evening. This is W7ITL, Wade here in Tacoma.
W7ITL, thanks for that, and thanks for everybody joining the net this evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. It's time to close the net off. This is Dave, KD7CYM, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. And we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use 147.08 for our voice transmissions during our nets held on Saturdays and Wednesdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So again, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, signing off the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.